it's part of the novel, The Hard Way. That Sunday morning in June, the Chicago doctors were trying to stabilize Mother in the ICU, but I didn't know. I didn't know her brain was swelling, and if it didn't stop, someone would have to decide whether to cut her skull open or let her die. If I'd been there, it would have been my decision. But I was out, rambling around the French Quarter, trying to find a fresh way to shoot the lucky dog guy, the horses drinking from the trough, the tourists scarfing beignets and chicory coffee at Café du Monde. The whole Hackney Jackson Square scene I love so much because it never changes. I paid $10 for a 15-minute chair massage to erase my headache from too many Sazeracs at Tujague's the night before. I browsed in the little bookstore on Pirates Alley, where Faulkner lived when he wrote Soldier's Pay. And I looked for an open door into the side chapel of the St. Louis Cathedral, where my parents were married. Funny, I was thinking about Mother a lot that day, but I had no idea. As soon as I saw the red LED 7 on my answering machine Sunday evening, I knew it was Mother. 7 calls from Aunt Sassy, all the same message: call us now. Everything they say is true. My blood chilled, ice flowed from my brain to my neck, my thoughts froze. Uncle Mac answered and said that classic thing people say, sit down. Aunt Sassy got on. Are you sitting down, she said. Over and over they said it, Uncle Mac and Aunt Sassy. We have to tell you something, sit down. I knew I wouldn't faint, not even if Mother was dead. But lines of frost traced the veins and arteries in my limbs, and I went wobbly. So I sat down and put my hands between my thighs. They told me the details. She'd had a massive stroke, a brain hemorrhage, a bleed. She was alive but critical. I should book a flight. I should pack for a week, maybe longer. I hung up, and sick was in my gut. Sick pounded all the way down to my bowels, and sick wanted out. So I ran to the bathroom and shat shrimp remoulade, crayfish gumbo, beef brisket with Creole horseradish sauce, chicken bon femme, and caramel espresso bread pudding. There weren't any flights to O'Hare until the next morning, so at midnight I went out to the courtyard of my condo. The pool was full of dead, rotting leaves. I shoved them aside and slid into sticky water, warmer than a bathtub. The bottom was slippery and the surface was scummy. But in between, where my body was, the warm water felt cooler than the hot night. I made long, slow strokes, my arms and legs cutting through the slimy leaves. Every lap was me trying to swim away the fear. A young couple stumbled into the courtyard, laughing, flirting, a little drunk. I lay quiet on my back, looking up at the hazy sky, the French Quarter lights too bright to see stars. When the lovers left, I left too. That night, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't cry. Part of me had expected something like this for a long time. Part of me wanted Mother to disappear, wanted her to die, wanted a no-muss, no-fuss finale to our long, difficult mother-daughter thing. But that was just the part of me looking for an easy way out. Another part had tried to reconcile with Mother for years. Reconcile from what? I'm not completely sure. Maybe being angry had just become a habit. Maybe I'd forgotten what she'd done. Or maybe I remembered enough to know it had something to do with my stepfather, with Dick. The next morning, I flew to Chicago in a last, final bubble high above the interstates and the old roads and the Illinois Central tracks, where the city of New Orleans still ran between the two places we lived in the 60s. I flew north, high above the mud-brown river and the green crops growing on Mississippi red dirt. I flew high, impotent at not being with Mother, afraid at being on my way to her, getting ready for whatever was coming. Given a choice, I always took the hard way.